Ah! Did I scare you guys? Probably scared the family upstairs. Oh my god. What kind of intro to a video is that? We are in it in October. I've already been to like 17 haunted houses this October. It's crazy. Every October I love to listen to creepy stories, even if they're fake, even if I know they're fake, and I watch ghost videos, even though I don't believe in ghosts. And that's kind of the whole point of this video. I want to take a look at some of the ghost postings that I've looked at, and I want to critique them with you guys. Decide if they're real or fake. Yes, I think they're all fake. The first posting we're going to be looking at is this picture, and it was posted on Reddit, and it does look a little bit creepy at first glance. And let's see what the OP had to say about it. Some context. There was no human in the room, besides the little kid sleeping in the bed. There was a dog in there that would bark if someone had entered. I'm usually not one to believe in this stuff, but this is hard for me to come up with an explanation. Whenever I'm looking at these ghost videos or postings like on Reddit or even on YouTube when they upload them and they have the little description in the bottom, I always love when the OP goes, I usually don't believe in this stuff. I only believe in this one that I'm uploading to get some internet clout. I just find it so bizarre. Usually, if you were to see something like that and you don't normally believe in this stuff, you would instantly be grappling for something, coming up with something. Anytime that I've seen a post like this, instantly, I'm looking for an explanation. I've had experiences happen in my own life that would be considered paranormal by a lot of people, and I'm always looking for an explanation. And usually, I find one. Even if somebody's like, no, that doesn't make any sense, I'm still like, no, I'm pretty sure that makes sense in the real world. So it always blows my mind when somebody's like, I don't really believe in this stuff, but here, check this out. One commenter would go on to explain how they believe this to be edited by AI. However, I'm not sure if I agree with them. You can read their entire post here if you want to pause the video. They explain how they could recreate this exact image, and I exactly see why they say it would be AI, and I will show you guys that in 1 second. But yeah, if you want to read his posting, you can go ahead and read that right now. So that commenter thinks it's AI because if we zoom in on the figure here, which I think is more than one figure, I'm going to get to that in a second with my theory, but if you zoom in on the hand, you can count the fingers, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 fingers, and usually AI does a poor job at making hands. This commenter seems convinced that the hands have 6 fingers, so it would be made by AI. Basically, the person just took a photo of their child and the dog like they normally would off their baby monitor, input it into AI and said make a ghost video, or it could have been any picture of any child, but yeah. I don't believe that's what's happening here, but that would be absurd for somebody to do. Then again, people have been using their kids for internet clout for how long, so wouldn't be surprised. Now, if we really zoom in on the figure here, which I know it's pretty hard to do because the image is very blurry, we can take a look at this picture with some context that the OP gave, and I think we can know what's going on here. So they do say that a dog sleeps in the bed with the child, and I believe that this head right here is the dog's head, and the hand you can see right here connects to this other head right here, second head. And what I think is happening here is that they said that somebody would bark. If somebody was in there, the dog would bark, and if the dog didn't bark, one of two things is happening here. Either the OP doesn't know that they had like their spouse or somebody in the room coming out of the room, and it looked kind of creepy, and that's why the dog didn't bark, because he was trying to come out. Sometimes when you have kids, you know about it, you try to like roll out of the bed without them waking up. I think that's what's happening here. And if it wasn't that, then I would just say it's a total fake completely, and the OP themselves is in there, and then screenshot the video afterwards and then post it online for some internet clout. That's what I believe is happening here. So do we call that debunked? I don't know. Go ask John Wolf. He's the authority on that. Long story short, me and my friend went for a walk at midnight in a nice place to take some photos, when he suddenly told me that this place is haunted. I thought it was a joke of his and ignored it until I saw the door moving by itself, and I ran. We got back to the place to film the event, and he got paranoid and told me he saw a woman appearing at the door at the end. I told him it was his imagination, but the door is real. I took this video, posted it on our story on Instagram, and I'm still thinking about it. It's a manual door. I'm not sure I really have to debunk this one, and the comments do actually give this guy a lot of shit because, I mean, obviously it's not a manual door, and it could be moving for many different reasons. Like the handicap button is stuck. You can see all the wiring in the door for the handicap button that would be there, so it's probably stuck or malfunctioning. But even so, you could just have your friend in there hitting the handicap button. That's less likely because of how the door opens and closes so randomly like that. That's definitely a handicap thing. That's just broken. And can see a woman at the end of the video. You can't at all. I mean, I'll show you guys a glimpse of it again. You can't see a woman at all. And he even says that he doesn't believe his friend about there being a woman, which there clearly isn't a woman here at the end clip. But even if there was a woman here, it's like, this place looks pretty good, like pretty nice. Like, I feel like there'd be somebody in here. There could just be anybody. There could just be a person if that was the case. And all the comments on Reddit seem to agree that, yes, it's a handicap door and the handicap thing is broken. So I believe that this is what that would be too. Is this person being genuine? Did they actually think it was haunted? Those are the questions that I'm asking. In reality, it's really hard to find people online who are being genuine about believing in this stuff. I mean, you can definitely find it, and we'll discuss a couple later in this video. But when we're speaking about people not being genuine, let's go into this next segment. These couple of ones that I feel like weren't quite genuine. But for those ones, I let my friend and fellow YouTuber Codex Curse tackle those. Let's hear what he has to say.
On June 29th, 2023, a post would be made on the r/ghosts Reddit page. We're watching from the perspective of a construction worker who's just doing a quick tour of the old house he's working at. During this, he walks up a set of stairs and turns around while we see a door seemingly shut on its own. What caused the door to shut was an immediate thought. After looking at some replies on the Reddit page, many came to the conclusion that it was simply the wind and that one of the windows in that room is wide open. The wind closed the door, case closed. But the OP states that we failed to see the door fly open. The door doesn't fly open, it simply shuts due to what seems to be a draft within the house. After it shuts, he heads down to check things out, and once he opens the door, we can clearly see an open window. What was it if it wasn't the window, though? I went ahead and reached out to the OP, and they gave me some more information regarding the incident. Was there any winds that day or anything that could have caused the draft to shut the door? It seems like the window was opened once you opened the door, which gives me this thought.
No, it was actually very still that day. I had to let dust settle after stirring it up because it would stay suspended in the air and all the door frames and doors were level. Also, the door popped open on its own as well. I don't know if it somehow closed a certain way that made it bounce back like that.
Very interesting. Do you know how old the house is, and if you don't mind me asking, what city was it located?
I'm not sure when it was built, but from what I can remember, it was the late 1800s or early 1900s. It's in Louisville. Here's a few pictures from the place.
Now, I couldn't find anything else about the house, but from the image it is a creepy looking place. But is it something paranormal? I don't think so, only because we don't have actual history of the property and what may have happened there. The house is under construction, so it's possible even the slightest draft could have caused the door to shut, but I'll leave this one up to you guys. What do you think? On October 29th, 2024, a post was made on the r/Paranormal Zombies Reddit page. The OP claims they found a real ghost train caught on camera. The video starts and someone is recording some train tracks in Santa Rosa at exactly 10 p.m. A train is heard as if it's right next to them, passing by, but there's seemingly nothing there.
The strange thing is, the train itself is invisible, but you can clearly hear it. The tracks vibrate and a strong gust of wind blows as if the train is passing. All the sensations are there except for the train. After numerous videos of this ghost train, people started flocking to the site, trying to experience the phenomenon themselves.
caught the sub's attention and Redditors started theorizing on the cause. One claimed, so they could have had tracks off camera that were being used as well. This seems likely, but within the video it was said that vibrations can be seen from the train tracks as the sound passes by. But looking closer, this doesn't seem to be happening whatsoever. We can also look at the woman's hair in the video, where if this train were actually passing by, we would see her hair go all over the place due to wind caused by the train. Now, there is a phenomena where sound can bounce and echo depending on the layout of buildings nearby, but even then, I really think this was done in post-production and isn't anything other than a hoax. But if you have any other explanation, I'd love to hear it down below.
For the sake of wanting to bring you some more genuine type posts of people who actually think this shit's haunted, I wanted to bring you this photo. It does actually look creepy and does catch you off guard immediately upon looking at it. And here's what the OP had to say about the photo. About 4 years ago, this photo was taken by a friend who we'll call Jess to preserve her anonymity. At the time of the photo, Jess was with 2 friends, the one in the middle and the one wearing tights on the right. She decided to take a flash photo of her friends to get a funny, unflattering photo. However, right after taking the photo, she notices a figure on the stairs in the background and immediately sends me the photo. It is important to note that the wall of the staircase is completely black. There is no paint, no mirror, or anything else. I've known Jess since I was 6 years old and she would never fake this photo. She doesn't even have the computer skills to carry out this kind of manipulation. Interesting fact, after taking this photo, she contacted 5 psychics to come to her house and inspect the place. Because Jess is very religious about life after death, this is not the only strange thing to happen in this house. The psychics all said that the woman in the photo was a man disguised as a woman, and he wanted to be in the photo to be seen. Now this one I do genuinely believe that whoever took the photo captured this and did think it was haunted. However, I'm not sure the person who posted it, their intentions. Everything is worded so strange and saying like she could never manipulate this photo. I'm not sure, you know? That stuff kind of always catches me off guard when somebody's like, trust me, bro. But undoubtedly, it definitely looks creepy as we zoom in on the back figure there. I think we can explain what's happening here, but not 100%. Sure, this could be actual paranormal caught on camera. Who can tell for sure? It also could just be a Photoshop. But let you guys know what I think is happening. Alright, so here's what I'm thinking. This part right here that could be perceived to be like the foot of the figure, I think is actually just a blend of lighting between that floor and that stair piece right there. And then this black right here is obviously because they said the wall is black there. It is painted black. And then we have some shadowing here. And then right here I think is actually just some glimmer of light that's hitting the black wall. Just because the wall is black, you could still see, especially with a flash photo, shadows being cast in different directions, and this light being light up right here, as well as this little section that looks like a neck. Definitely some type of lights. I have no idea how to figure out what this part is up here though. With the, like, what looks to be a mouth, that I don't have any explanation for. And it would be more likely that it's like, it's not just a plain black wall like they said, or there's some type of object or picture hanging there, so the light's just reflected in that way. Human minds are already set to see faces. So when you're looking at this, you're going to look for a face, because that's just how the human mind works. And in that last one, I think it actually did look weird because of just the shadowing and the lights and the bad quality. All of that mixed together just gave us a really weird photo. Pretty hard to debunk, honestly, but just freaking weird. These next ones, I think, well, this next one, I think is just somebody who's overreacting. You ever had just the strangest thing happen and then your first thing is like, oh, it must be ghosts? Most people would just brush it off as, there's some explanation, but some people get really hung up on the fact that it must be ghosts, and they haven't really observed it close enough. Let's watch the video I'm talking about. This OP states that these are videos from his mom's house, and these are the only context you need for this video. The mom was home in the backyard, and she swears she closed the door all the way, so we know the door was not locked because she just says she knows she closed it all the way. And so here's what we're looking at. I'm going to show you the video again, and I can tell you exactly what's happening. It's not even that crazy. As we can see, the dog is already leaned up on the door and then comes down, obviously smashes the doorknob with his paw, which allows the door to fling open. Now, I've owned many dogs in my life, and I know for a fact, even with a rounded doorknob, big dogs like this can get it open. I've seen other dogs do it with their mouths. Some dogs can hit it with their paw, but the door could just be even just a little bit cracked, just a tiny bit cracked, and they could bump it and pull it open. But there's some more evidence here if we look a little bit further. If we look at this window, we can see something like a trash bag or something or another blowing in the wind really hard in the direction that would push the door open. So the door is either cracked already or the dog bumped it with his paw, and then the wind just blew that door way open. Has nothing to do with ghosts, I can promise you. I think seeing a video like that, it is very possible that somebody just overreacts and goes straight to ghosts. I've seen other people in my life do that same thing when stuff has a very easily explainable thing behind it, as we just witnessed. This is just the way my brain looks when I'm looking at this stuff. I like to try to scare myself a little bit. Also, I'm interested in like paranormal and the afterlife and stuff. I don't believe any of that stuff, so I'm even more interested in it because I would love to be proven wrong. You know, that's what I'm always looking for. But I'm also like #1 skeptical about literally everything I see always. So, and it's like whether it's this curtain video where it clearly is just a person's friend pulling the curtains back and forth, or if it's this video that's poorly recorded security footage once again, and it's just some of the bad lighting. That's literally just lighting that's happening there. I'm always looking for an explanation. And like I said, I've even had a few paranormal experiences myself. Paranormal. I don't think they were. And that's probably where I'm at with that. So if you guys want to let me know in the comments some of the paranormal experiences you guys have had, I would love to freaking read those, because that's what I do for fun anyways. That's why I make these videos. Not that my videos are ever paranormal focused, but I just love to find weird shit and just learn about it. The only difference is when I make a video, I'm sharing it with you guys. So I'm trying to make some different videos that are interesting for, you know, October spooky season. So definitely let me know if you guys enjoyed this style of video down in the comments. I can mix it in with the rest of the content I normally do. So see ya.